This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2. And the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Kol Yahweh Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Archim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Aquath and the Archim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity. This is the brother Yahweh Sap. Shalom to the Aquath and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is an edifying lesson. This is the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. I came across this article. I started with Habakkuk chapter 2 because when you go into Habakkuk 2, it talks about the vision, which is these prophecies. And it says, make them plain upon tables, meaning to explain them simply so people have an understanding, because that was the job of the prophets, to basically foretell the things that the Most High God, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, was going to send to the earth as judgments and scourges and amendments. And, because before the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua judges a place, he sends his prophets to basically proclaim or to make it known. To have the people turn back, for the most part. But, at the same time, Most High knows who will turn back and who won't. That's why this is likened upon foolishness, to go out to be preaching the word when, and to be ridiculed and mocked by our people as well as the other nations, when, it really in their heart, because the Most High is hard in their heart that they won't, turn back. That's why you have a 2/3. But it says, for the vision is yet for a point in time. That, again, goes into the prophecies. When you read the book of Revelation, chapter 19, it talks about the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. That's what makes our ministry different from every other ministry out there, because you have different denominations of Christianity that they read the scriptures. I won't say they know the scriptures, because you have to understand to know something. So, they read the scriptures, they utilize the book, but they don't understand or they don't know the prophecies. They don't even go into prophecy. You got all these multitude of denominations, and all of them, basically they omit or add, or, because it's their take on, or their, is their vain opinion on what, they add and omit. And, and the scriptures talk about anybody that does that, because you got to use the whole book. You gotta, the book of Lamentations, Mournings, and Woe. Everything in this Bible isn't pretty. Everything is. I mean, trust me, it's beautiful to have a heritage and to be amongst a true brotherhood. I could actually speak on the fact that when you got certain men that have been on the other side and have stopped to listen and then see the camaraderie that is among Jake. Well, let me rephrase, among brothers, because there's a difference between regular Jake and a brother that's in the truth. A brother in the truth is held to a certain standard. It's a reason why Yahweh Shai said, who is my mother, who is my brother, who is my family? And basically it said that as a cut to his own family in their face. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, if you sincerely are awake to the fact that you're an Israelite and you actually have picked up, you put your hand to the plow, like I said, there's certain things expected of you. It's certain mannerisms, a certain way that you're supposed to present yourself. It's a certain way that you will act amongst brethren. You know what I mean? You don't need no transformers that's one way amongst the brethren and then another way amongst these 2/3 people in the world. And trust me, sometimes you do got to play Clark Kent and Superman, but what I mean is, don't let your, like, for instance, and, I'm not really talking down on an elder, but like, my forefather Peter, But at the end of the day, what he was doing when Paul had to cuss him out, he was being one way amongst the Gentiles and one way amongst, the circumcised. And Peter cussed him out. I mean, Salakia, Paul cussed him out for that. He confronted him to his face. Because that's a hypocrite. And scriptures go in about hypocrites. So anyhow, saying all that to say this, I seen this article. It's just out of Newsbreak. I think I seen this article the other day and I meant to go into it, but then it popped up again. So, and that's the spirit if the Lord, yeah, it's 2 days ago, but I just saw it today. I might have been looking through my notifications looking for a video. I can't recall, but sometimes they do. You got to look for the little spiritual nuggets because when you see things repeated over and over, that's sometimes the Most High speaking because in order to get your attention, he might want that the information to come out. I don't know how anybody else is, bring out the truth or how they, what they do. Everybody got the, their way to do it. Like certain brothers, like the real brother from Kansas City, he kept on saying, based on something one of the brothers said, it prompted him to do a video, but he kept on apologizing like, well, yeah, brother, Salakia. He was like, what you said hit the spirit so hard, I had to do a video about it. He was like, Salakia, because so brothers put a lot of energy in it, like brothers get excited about the idea, the title of a video, what I mean? Because brothers to put a lot of energy, into this. I was listening to the brothers whose channel is Bakar Buff. He was sitting up there saying how, you got to realize that your life is no longer your life. Your life is this. And if a person doesn't understand that, then you probably ain't in the, you probably still in the world to a degree. That's why it's called a sacrifice. You know what I mean? This Putin warns NATO of military response as U.S. seeks dialogue. So, just with that title alone made me think of this scripture, Matthew chapter 24, and the point is verse, I'm going to start at 6, but when you see anything red letter, for those that aren't aware, anything red letter was the words of Yahushua Mashiach, our brother, our Lord and Savior. And this is basically when he was speaking to the disciples in regards to the end of the world, what would be the signs or tokens, because a token is a sign or a signal of of it. So the tokens of the end of the world. This is Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So seeing that title is a rumor of war. And if you follow anything geopolitically, you hearing about, all this back and forth with Russia and Ukraine and NATO dealing with Ukraine and U.S. dealing with Ukraine. And U.S. got a big head and all this shit, but they're talking about U.S. seeks a dialogue. This is the fucking devil for you because he'll be sitting up there making it seem like, I'm dealing with something like this similar at work. And it's kind of funny how the Lord doing it because I should really just calm down. The thing is this, and, it will sharpen your skills up, dealing with these fucking peons. But my thing is this, I know you don't like me. I don't like you. You get what I'm saying? The thing is this, you want me to fake like I like you though. But you ain't got to fake like you like me. What the fuck? Kind of weirdo shit. We're not in high school. We're grown ass people. I was just literally sitting up there saying this yesterday. Like, we all are using one another to keep the company going so we all fucking go home with a paycheck to take care of our family. Motherfucker, you never gonna show me a picture of your child just like I'm never gonna show you. Get what I'm saying? Like, who gives a fuck about you after you leave this job? And I'm sure it's vice versa. But like I said, just weird shit. Like, I can see when you was a little kid, you had in your mind, everybody got but no, nigga, I'm grown. Like, what the fuck? You think I give a fuck if you don't like me? I might do some shit where you really don't like me. You get what I'm saying? Like, on purpose. Fucking weirdo ass fucking people, man. And like I say, the thing is, the only good part about this shit is this. These hunkies don't really work. In their mind, they think they these great fucking workers. How the fuck is you a good worker when you used us to do all the fucking work? So now they coming in all this money because they getting all these contracts. And bitch, at the end of the day, while you done came into a title because they're forcing you to succeed. Well, no. See, you need to know how to deal with people when you're in leadership. I don't like people. I'm anti-fucking social. I love brothers. And I don't even deal with all the brothers like that. You know, like I say, I've seen people cut me and betray me and shit like that. So at the end, they know I'm very, very iffy and, you know what I mean, like around fucking people. But the thing is this. You can't just have a title and everything ain't always about who you know. Sometimes you got to show and fucking prove. That's why I like the job of welding. It ain't just because you got a fucking certification to show, oh, you went to school for this. No, you, even with all that and doing the interview, you still got to go out on the fucking floor and weld something. You got to show and prove. So the thing is this. You gonna have to work. See, it's about to come into a time with all this shit going on. We about to have to work in that bitch. And that's where you gonna prove. So, like I say, I'm trying to just make it to that point. But, you know, like, I don't like when motherfuckers want to play chess and shit. You know what I mean? I can play chess. But all these semantics that's coming up with the game, like, let's just play the game. I don't even like the game of chess on no 10-hour, like, that's not fun to me. Let's play this shit in 3 minutes. I can do what I'm gonna do to you in 3 minutes, or you gonna do it in 3 minutes to me, or the fuck I don't want to play. I got a whole other thing going on as opposed to why the fuck you sitting up here worried about a fucking PlayStation 5 or some shit. You know, Lord don't kill your dumb ass. Salakia for that rant, that needed to come out. This is the book of because this shit is, I mean, I'm literally watching these devils about to fight in the world, and then I'm watching this shit act out at my fucking job. The thing is this, my job's so retarded, they'll fire you and then ask you to come back. Like, what? No, bitch, we did, the fuck ain't nobody. So I'm trying to just lightweight, just deal with it, but it's like Satan turning up in that bitch. These people really in their mind thinking that how you gonna bring somebody into a job that never earned the job, but think they got the power to tell somebody what to do? When we all about to, from the owner come in this bitch and work. So if the owner working, who the fuck is you that you ain't gonna work? Like this shit, and this is, but these people just think they so fucking brilliant. That's how look at the state of the world. How the fuck are you brilliant? If anything, the world is more fucked up than what it's ever been. I mean, I've been to California. What they showing on videos, I seen fucking firsthand. Motherfuckers living under bridges. The fucking city of LA smelled like shit. And if anybody know anything spiritually, that's demons. Because demons are associated with smells. That's why the fuck you got a purge going on out there now. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. No, but these are wars and rumors of war. And you seeing all these nations gearing up. You know what I'm saying? Shit, they say America was testing shit. Because the Lord is stirring up those, you know, those spirits of war. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences where you see it, you know, shortage of goods, these grocery stores putting up fake displays to cover up the empty spaces. You know, you got a whole fucking trucker shortage when they just basically went on a boycott because what happened in Colorado with the truck driver. So that's like basically famine started because if you ain't got nobody moving the goods, people about to see. That's how I show you how stupid fucking people is. People think that just shit just appeared like Santa Claus brought the shit. No, it's a lot of shit that go into like making it where you could just be a fucking lazy ass American. Pestilences. This Omarion is a pestilence. You know what I'm saying? And earthquakes in diverse places. I did a video, I think the elder Apostle Tahar just made mention of, I forgot what state he said, literally just had 50 earthquakes. I think it was like a week or two ago in Oregon, they had like fucking 90. Says famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. And you see it, so like I said, like you got purge like events going on right now. They talking about people just following people to their house. And it's going to be beautiful. Because you got these fucking uppity ass, privileged ass fucking Edomites that don't understand, you know, what it is to struggle or, you know, or to actually have to like go without. So you got people that's really taking a beating and you got these Edomites walking around with $20,000 watches and shit like that. And people ain't even really trying to get your watch and shit. They trying to get your food. They talking like they follow you to your house. So they don't just want what you got on your person. Do you know what kind of time you face when doing a home invasion type shit? But what desperate times call for desperate measures. What's that guy named Gerald Salente always says? When people how does he put it? When people lose things, they lose it or something. Roughly paraphrase. You about to see these people go ape shit. It says Bloomberg, President Vladimir Putin threatened a military response to counter NATO expansion towards Russia's borders, but said he hoped for a diplomatic solution to rising tensions as the U.S. said it was ready to discuss its security demand. But the thing is this, and if you ever know anything about Putin, I don't like no Edomites. I mean, just like, because you can tell the difference between maybe a Jake or a Israelite foreigner and an Edomite. An Edomite exude certain characteristics. Like, you can tell. I work with Edomites. Like, literally. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these motherfuckers sitting up there, they thinking this is, which is going to be funny. And like I said, I ain't mean to digress, but it's just funny to me. Like, you motherfuckers, they talking about taking on more clients. We work in production. So if we don't produce, we can lose clients, all that type of shit. They're taking on more clients. We barely making the orders we're making now. And you got motherfuckers thinking that they don't literally have to work. They thinking they just going to get a motherfucker to do it. Like, what? I supposed to have a title at my job. I don't even think like that. But because I look like a nigga and they look, and the thing is this, like the guy was just telling me, at the end of the day, it take for this fucking cracker to fucking lose money. That's when he wanna, like, literally, or watch, that's another thing about Esau Edom too. Them bitches stick together. You know what I mean? Like, I was speaking with one guy and this faggot ass cracker just jump into the conversation. You know what I mean? And I almost said something smart, but I gotta walk on pins and needles in there because, I'm the crazy nigga. That's what they think. You know what I mean? Because, how I got the job, you get what I'm saying? So if you so worried about me, why the fuck you hire me then? Because they, you know what I mean? Like, Salakia for again, like, I'm gonna have to name this like various topics because, like I say, like, it's just because it's so amazing how the Lord doing it. I'm literally watching what's going on in the world, and then I'm watching these devils getting set to do the cutthroat shit in this job. And I'm just watching, and then, like I said, it's really like a learning. Well, I already knew how snaky Esau was, but I'm watching these faggot motherfuckers. This nigga went from last week trying to help me with some trash to this week talking about some, let's try to keep it clean. And I'm thinking to myself, I bit my tongue because I almost said something smart. So I said what I was going to originally say, but I said it in a way that didn't come across like fuck you and kiss my ass type shit. I'm like, at the end of the day, you really think you just started here? The concept you coming up with now is something that has not been tried before? Like, you really think that you just that innovative? Like, who the fuck is you? And then the funny part is, what he's sitting up here bragging about what he did, me and two other guys did like a month ago. So I'm trying to figure out what originality did you bring to this shit? And then because this stupid bitch that, like I said, hired all of us, that's why I say that. Oh, man, like, I might have to restart this because, like I say, this is about wars and rumors of war. But, like I say, you see the buildup of it. Because, like I say, at the end of the day, there's certain things people don't play about. You know what I mean? And that's why fighting and wars start. You get what I'm saying? Russia is getting offended because you got NATO moving on their territory. That's just like people, it was something, a statement a guy said when I worked at this foundry. He said, I know my wife run the house. He was like, but don't you go telling me what he say? He said, but don't you go, he said, but it ain't, he said, I know my wife run the house, but I don't have an issue until somebody, they've got a say-so about my household. That's what he said. He said, he said, anybody ask me, he's like, I'll tell you, my wife run the house, but I don't have an issue until somebody want to come speaking about my household. So, you know what I mean? I mean, in my mind, that's a weak dude to a degree, but at the same time, Jake has brought up most of these pussy ass niggas for real, brought up to happy wife, happy life. And when you go into how, Like years ago, a motherfucking man was allowed to discipline his wife in his house. Men used to beat the shit out of their women to the point where they got to beating them to death and shit like that. And that's why you got all these domestic violence laws and all that. But it's gonna go back to that shit. Like they was sitting up there talking about what happened over there at when they left when America just recently left. Where was that at? Iran or Saudi Arabia or wherever they just pulled out of, where Joe Biden was getting ridiculed for the way that he basically extradited or extracted the troops out of that land. They said once America was left, they basically, the women had to go back to cover it up, and they couldn't drive anymore. Yeah, they went back to the way it was originally. And it's going to go back to that now when you seeing all these shortages of police officers and whatnot. It says the U.S. and its allies must understand that we have nowhere to retreat further. You hear this shit? So that's the spirit. He said we ain't got nowhere else to go. So basically he said I'm about to stand my ground. The U.S. and its allies must understand that we have nowhere to retreat further, and Russia can't allow them to deploy missiles in Ukraine, because Ukraine is basically an ally of America and NATO. Well, no. They are an ally of America, but they, I guess, try to become a part of NATO. And at one point in time, Ukraine was a part of Russia. That will be a few minutes strikes distance from Moscow, Putin told senior officers Tuesday at the Russian Defense Ministry. Russia will take adequate military technical response measures and react harshly to unfriendly steps, he said. It's a little bit more, but I done went speaking on everything else. So that's the point. That's, wars and rumors of wars. He said, we don't have anywhere else to go. So basically, he said, we will stand our ground. And that's the Most High putting that war-like spirit on Gog and Magog because of the fact, Gog and Magog, you got to understand the old Soviet Union. That was a superpower. Like America once was a superpower. Now it's more so like a joke because, you got this weak ass guy Biden in office. You got a female. You got these people pretty much. You got all these homosexuals in the military. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why you got Kim Jong-un doing military displays showing the men, their soldiers. And I don't think I seen one female soldier in that display, that demonstration. You had they soldiers busting fucking bricks and shit with their head and getting hit with sledgehammers and shit like this. Then you got talking about some don't ask, don't tell. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 in America. You see in America, you got the motherfucking a bitch sitting up here, a nigga bitch at that, with behind a computer with a drone. But war get bloody. War get head to head. I mean, don't get me wrong. Today you got technology, but still though, like it's gonna get bloody. What do you mean? Like the fuck? This is book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, verse 1. And this is the prophecy. This is a prophecy talking about Gog and Magog. Now, you don't understand Gog and Magog. Well, let me read it. It says, and the word of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua came on to me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and the prophecy against him. It says, what it say? The prophecy against him. Revelation 19, it says, the spirit of prophecy, Yahweh Mashiach is the spirit of prophecy, Salakia, roughly paraphrased. So the prophecy or the vision is, when you go to Gog and Magog, when you look on an ancient map and look at those landmass, it's where Russia is today. So that's why Russia is considered Gog and Magog. And it says, and say thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, behold, I have against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. So Meshach and Tubal were like the vassal states. And I just was going into how the Soviet Union literally was over that area. Like when you go into the Baltic Sea and whatnot, when you go into the Soviet Union, the Soviet Union controlled all that area. And Russia has a strong influence of all that area today. Now, the Ukraine, like I said, that's why they're trying to ally themselves with NATO. You get what I'm saying? Because NATO was created in order to combat Russia. So you got all these. That's how you know Esau Edom is in power. Because look at America control part of the shit. Then Russia control part of the shit. Then you got like what the Saudi Arabia, like the Saudi Arabian royal family. Them is crypto Jews. Them not fucking Arabs. Them not Ishmaelites. Go look up the word crypto Jew. Those are Edomites. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And the hooks that he put in his jaws is the warlike spirit he's putting on Russia. What did they say? They said, we have nowhere else to go. So when you say some shit like that, I mean, that's like a motherfucker sitting up there saying, don't touch me no more. Remember when the little kids, don't push me. Don't push me. He said, we have nowhere else to go. So this meaning he's about to stand his ground. And it's not a coincidence that literally, since I've been in the truth, I remember coming into the truth and you seeing Russia displaying their military weaponry. You know what I mean? Because, the weaponry is the swords. You know what I mean? The modern day sword is a gun, but, that goes into all, the sword is one of the missiles. Talk about the glittering sword in the sky. When they didn't know, the prophets of old didn't know what a missile was, so they referred it to something that they could, that what they, what it resembled, an allegory. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And all that weaponry and armor and all that, that's going into their weaponry. They tanks, they airplanes, they helicopters, they missile defense systems. The ICBMs. So it's spiritual because I'm seeing all, because, like Russia talk about a dialogue and America talk about a dialogue, but secretly they got other plans. They truly scheming. It's it's chess on geopolitical terms, meaning worldwide. Because believe it or not, you still have that mindset of rulership. You know what I mean? Like back in the ancient days when empires wanted to rule and try to control the rule. You're watching that. It's just you ain't seeing people riding on chariots and riding horses. Like they're flying helicopters and flying in planes and charter jets and shit like that. But, it's spiritual because, like I said, I'm watching all the conniving and sneakery and the fuckery going on at my job, and you seeing all of it play out on a worldwide scale with America and Russia and all these other countries. But no matter how many peace talks y'all do, even if the Lord don't literally have this J off next year or whatever the case may be, we ain't got no 5 more years here. If you believe that, then the Lord's really not dealing with you. If they talk about renaming the Staples Center in LA on Christmas Day, they talk about renaming it the Crypto Center. The fuck do you think that means? So with that being said, if you a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, to the commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you will be destroyed. So with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kodesh Rekatham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders, great millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the 4 corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith, with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Aqua, to the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the nations, which appear like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Until next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Shalom.